Hi, welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wrap, where we discuss news items mined from the newspapers of the previous week. Hi, I'm Cal Anderson, your local activist and host. We have a very special guest today and a very special program. Welcome to the show, Josh Judkins. Now, Josh is the astronomer that runs the program up at the High Rock Observatory in our city, and he's going to talk a little bit about that, and we're just going to talk about the heavens in general. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So where are you from, and how did you get this position with our city?
I'm originally from North Carolina, and then I did my undergrad in Ohio, did my PhD in upstate New York, and then moved to Boston for my postdoc at Pfizer, and then I transitioned into a sales role, and then left Somerville to move to Lynn about back in March, so pretty recently.
So your degree is not in astronomy.
Correct.
What
my PhD is in chemical biology.
But you are an amateur astronomer as well.
Astronomy kind of kept me sane in grad school. I would escape and go out to a dark field somewhere and stare at the sky.
That's easy down in North Carolina. How did they find you for the community development program, which runs our observatory?
So when I was looking at properties in Lynn, when I saw my current home located on Johnson Street, I looked up and I saw High Rock Tower, and I saw that there was a dome on top, which meant there was probably a telescope inside. And so I thought, okay, I have to move to Lynn, and I have to go over to City Hall and have to ask someone for the keys to that building because I need to have access to it. So you go to the Lynn website and you see that the person to contact is James Marsh, so he's the Director of Community Development. And so I went and met with him and told him that I was just recently moved to Lynn and that I wanted to get involved in the observatory. And actually, he had already sort of delegated running of the observatory to Dr. Luke Conlin. So then he put me and Luke in touch with each other. And so the rest is history, I guess.
So we do have this observatory, and if people don't know, it's on top of High Rock Tower, right at the edge of downtown Lynn. Now, when are these viewings? I understand it's every other Wednesday, of course, sky weather permitting.
Yeah, we can't be up there if there's 10-foot long icicles blocking the walkway, or if there's lightning strikes and things like that.
Or even just cloud cover.
Or even just
you can't see the sky, you can't look at it through a telescope.
Correct, but sometimes if it's just cloudy and it's otherwise a nice evening, we might have people up for the view and just at least see the telescope and talk to them. We have some pictures up there. We can talk a little bit about the night sky and stuff like that.
I was actually up there a few weeks ago, and we were blessed with I think 2 full moons ago. Wasn't quite full, but we captured enough images. Prominent in the sky this summer, I've been watching all summer with friends, are Saturn and Jupiter.
Yep.
And last year we had Mars, which is decidedly red. So we have these skies all the time. And is there something that people can do as an amateurs without actually going up to view through the telescopes?
Absolutely, and we'll touch back on when we have open observatory night, so everyone can make sure that they can come by when they are able to. But yeah, actually, a good portion of the sky you don't need a telescope to see. All you need is either just your eyeballs in a dark location, or just an old pair of binoculars. Because a lot of things that are really interesting to look at in the sky, are actually so large that when you zoom in with a telescope, you lose some of the detail and some of the perspective of that object.
All right. It just makes you feel smaller if you're looking up and you have virtual infinity up there.
Yeah, and I like, especially when I'm doing open nights, or if I'm in a location that allows us to really view the bands of the Milky Way through the sky, to describe, we're looking into the center of the Milky Way here, or we're looking out into intergalactic space there, because it really gives you a perspective, oh wow, we're at the outer edge of this sort of backwater location of our galaxy.
Not unlike the Andromeda Galaxy, which might be
right here
behind us. This would be kind of what our galaxy would look like if we were out there looking at us.
Absolutely, and actually this object here, the Andromeda Galaxy, is quite bright in the sky. So this is something that we haven't yet looked at High Rock Tower, but it's earlier and earlier in the evening. It's getting into a better part of the sky.
This gets into another thing. There are summer skies and there are winter skies. I know that one of our favorites is Orion.
Yes.
And it's just coming up because it tends to be a winter constellation. Yep. But that's an easy one to view because it's got the 3 stars in line, Orion's belt, his sword coming down, and then 4 hands and
Yep.
4 feet. And I happen to know that I think the right hand is called Betelgeuse.
Yes.
Yes, Betelgeuse.
And it's actually going to
Betelgeuse.
supernova probably relatively soon.
Relatively soon, like in a few thousand years, or within our lifetime?
Definitely not in our lifetime.
Okay.
But
Oh, by the way, this reminds me, all the light that we see from those stars, we're not seeing live light. We're seeing it from how long ago?
oh, it varies from.
This is what light years are all about, folks,
Yep.
because light travels at 186,000 miles per second. So you can tell if that light takes all those years to get to Earth from whatever body, it's out there a long way.
Yep.
So anyway, we just want to touch on this a little bit, and you want to mention the program again, and then we're going to get to some headlines.
Yep. So we took a break this week actually. So it will start up again next week on Wednesday night. It's from sunset till about 10 o'clock. And feel free to stop by, and it'll be after next week, every other week on Wednesday.
So anyway, can we get to talking about some of our headlines? Interesting from last Friday, of course, Lynn lines up behind Houston. We've been very generous, but we have Irma coming up. So come this time next week, we're going to be talking about relief efforts there as well. So, you know, make sure you don't spend all your relief money. Here we go again. Spencer Haysack. Here it is. A shark actually washed up dead on Revere Beach. But look, the Spencer gets down and dirty on the ground, and he takes advantage as if this were the great white. And I just love the way he does that. I have to point that out. Ruckus in Revere. I mean, you've got to keep up on this. The new mayor is kind of having a war of words with the former mayor about police chief and a few other things. This is interesting. And it's a nice segue into the fact that we have our own elections coming up. And if you catch this over the weekend on YouTube, remember, Tuesday is our primary election here in Lynn. There's a lot of school committee and city council races wide open. And people think, I shouldn't vote in a primary? Well, this is where you do, because you eliminate some of the people, and then we'll get into a real election for November. It's a time of year people like to get out and explore our Lynn woods, but we've had 2 incidences the past few days or week. 2 people were lost for a few hours, and you might think, Lynn Woods, how big can it be? Well,
It's big.
You know, you still wander around in there. But here's one where a woman actually was lost because she fell down a ravine and was injured. So just the warning is make sure you're either not alone or people know where you are, and check in and bring your phones with you and all that. So, you know, we only have about 1 minute left. Is there anything you want to bring up about the fact that we're fall now, and what are the things that we have to look forward to in winter? What are some of the winter skies?
The winter sky has really bright stars, so a lot of folks really will like that. So make sure you look up in the winter, in particular, look out for Orion. As he said, we have the 3 distinct stars that make up his belt, and then you have his sword or sheath.
I think he's just starting to emerge above the horizon.
Just starting. If you go up about 3 o'clock in the morning and look outside, you'll see him.
And we did have the eclipse, and we're looking forward to the one that favors New England in 7 years. Seems like a long time, folks, but
It'll be here
anyway.
sooner than
Anyway,
you know.
Josh Judkins, thanks for being here, and I'm going to let you bring us home.
So until next time, in every way and every day, keep loving Lynn.
Thanks. I'm sorry I don't have moon pies, but I do have some apple mini tarts.